Right, welcome to a new series called Weird Game Sunday with Brandon. We are checking out the Stanley Parable. You could ask me what I knew about this game. I know jack shit, but we're gonna check it out. Let's do this.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh,
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
well, at least he was happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. So I've got a narrator telling me what to do. Damn.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I hate Mondays. Tell me why.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Wasn't me. Number one dad. So basic. What a basic employee. I like work. I just hate my boss. Not gonna say nothing. Nah, I don't know. I don't hate my boss. He's awesome. I like work and I like my boss. What mugs are there? Oh, they got the same one. Be my Valentine. Depends. You got a blunder. Oh, who farted as well? Can't go now. It's all the same, but just different numbers, isn't it? Strange. 420?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Alright, I'm sorry. I like touching things. Oh, you turned the computer off. I'm gonna really annoy the narrator. Let's see how much we can annoy the narrator. Guess we can't annoy him anymore. I hate Mondays. Yeah, I think everyone hates Mondays. Oh, no, I hate Monday.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Maybe I don't want it. maybe I want to go on the right. Don't tell me what
This
to
was
do.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Stanley employee lounge. Ah.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Alright, Stanley. What does that say? Coffee nut.
Yes. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Do we do what he says? I don't know. I want to see what's in here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I mean, this just looks like a better way. Don't it?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by your... What? Really? I was in the middle of
the
something.
impulsive
Do you have
thought came
zero
in.
consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Alright,
Give me
we'll
a
let him
chance.
prove that he's on our side. I don't know, the impulsive thought just hit in and I was like, I'm just going to jump off.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
Shouldn't
I
blue door
wanted to
be there?
stop. We would both be so much happier if
Hello?
we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
I'm scared. Do I go in?
What do we want? What are we looking for?
I'm not too sure. What are we looking for? It's space.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
You do? My eyes. It's so bright. Is it gonna reach the middle? Oh, I saw one of these in London where it's like shining around the whole room. It's like it's like a jellyfish going around. Whoa. It's like an eye. Whoa. That's pretty cool. Let me just move on. If I'm honest.
No, wait. Where are you going?
I'm leaving. I got bored.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
I'm going upstairs. You can shut up.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
I can kill myself? Do I want? Okay.
No!
Bye.
Oh, thank God. You lived.
I'm doing it again.
You had me worried there for a moment. No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before.
This is my
if
body.
You die, we'll
I'll
both
do what
go
I
back.
want.
Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Nope.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game?
Mm-hmm.
You'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it?
Will
You're
do.
literally willing to kill
Yes,
yourself
sir.
to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Bye-bye.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one is yours.
Goodbye, narrator. It was nice not knowing you.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Yes. We've just reset. Just reset like that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, so we'll follow his directions, I guess?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
And we'll just see what happens.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a
Let's not
wave of
talk it.
disbelief, Stanley
Let's not
decided to
get a
go
fight.
up to his boss's
Talk
office,
less.
hoping he might find an answer
Just
there.
trying to read that. How to solve a dispute with a co-worker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively. Oi! Who's changing it if no one's in the fucking room? Anyway, we're going.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. I'm gonna go see the boss. Business strategy. I might be wrong, but I don't think a business strategy is taking a panda hostage. I could be wrong. Oh. Here we go.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I didn't hear nothing. I just randomly done it. First try. What is going on? Ooh. Now we're going down. Could I have gone up? Loading?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go
because I'm
unanswered
controlling
for
him?
long.
Maybe? What was that? I mean, we could just go back up. Yeah.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly
We did.
me.
We did
Why
indeed.
did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Right. I'm gonna try and go up even further. But I don't know if we can. That's good. I'll go back now. Oh. I might have screwed up.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical plot points.
Right, I
one
get it.
after
I went the wrong way.
Weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat. Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Right, I get it. I went the wrong way. Okay.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Mind control facility. Escape. Right. We'll carry on. Do we just press the big white button? I guess so. Here goes nothing.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Whoa.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I do. I do just want to escape. I guess we press this.
Now the monitors jump to life. Their true nature.
Oh, they're all the numbers from the
Each bore
offices.
the number of an employee in the building.
That's what I just said.
Workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What would we be? 246? Is that our office? Well, I'm looking at 426, where am I? No? I think that was it. Anyway. What's going on?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Where does that take us?
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Apparently.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yes, we will destroy the mind control facility. Or will we turn it on?
Last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted? Control! Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave.
But you're the narrator,
If
maybe
you
you're the
want to
one
throw my story
controlling
off
my
track,
mind.
you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have
Well, you
nearly
just
the
made
power
me
you
think
think you do.
you
For
were.
example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes.
Oh, shit!
Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it,
Yep.
Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh,
Okay.
this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
No.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Well, tell me what I have to
Dear me, what's the
do.
matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Nope. Tell me.
Stanley.
Tell me.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death.
I don't know,
You're
I'll
only
just
still
restart.
playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. but I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
What the frick? Back here. So there must be a way I have to
All of his
deactivate it.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't know.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Wonder where this... Oh, I think that takes us to the... Yeah. So I carry on
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look,
so
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off
that
on the
way
wrong
took
foot
us
here.
to...
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult,
crazy,
but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley.
So we haven't been this way
to
yet.
redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Oh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly...
Hello? Is it Stanley?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see
narrator.
something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I get it. You're controlling me to press buttons.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job.
Have a TV.
First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
I'm not going to press it. I'm not going to press it. I hate Mondays.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
What the hell?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Back.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps